I have to admit, I was thinking about this today, and I'm still a little ticked off about Donna Edwards not winning the Democratic primary for the Senate seat in Maryland. So I began thinking, is it time to form a new political party? When people like Donna Edwards cannot get support from the Congressional Black Caucus or the Congressional Progressive Caucus, when they are clearly centrists in both those caucuses, in my opinion, it's time for another option. Now, the problem that I've heard is that Donna Edwards really wasn't a glad-hander. She wasn't a smoozer. She basically went to work every day in order to get the job done. She was clearly a supporter of a lot of progressive agendas. And obviously, just looking at the picture, she was clearly black. So, just starting with the Congressional Black Caucus, although each of the 46 members of the CBC belongs to that caucus based on their race, obviously being black, not every member of that caucus has the welfare of black people as their primary focus. If that were the case, Donna Edwards' record alone would have made it an imperative to endorse and support her. I have to ask the question, where was the support of people like Joyce Beatty, representative from Ohio, Cory Booker, senator from New Jersey, Corrine Brown, representative from Florida, Representative Cleaver from Maryland, Representative Butterfield from North Carolina, Representative James Claiborne from South Carolina, Representative Conyers from Michigan, Representative Elijah Cummings from Maryland, Representative Eleanor Holmes Norton from DC, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas, Representative Hakeem Jeffries from New York, Representative Barbara Lee from California, Representative John Lewis from Georgia, Representative Gregory Meeks from New York, Representative Charles Rangel from New York, and Representative Maxine Waters from California. Now, I mentioned these names out of the 46 because these are the people that are within the Congressional Black Caucus that you will most often see with their faces on various TV screens on MSNBC, CNN, and even in some cases, Fox News. The ones that really trouble me the most are Representative Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas, Representative Holmes Norton from DC, Representative Hakeem Jeffries from New York, and Representative Maxine Waters from California, along with Representative Elijah Cummings. Every last one of those people have big mouths. They are always running off at the mouth. In particular, Holmes Norton, she can't be quiet. And the same can be said from Representative Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas. But not one of these people, not one, endorsed and supported Donna Edwards. Now, the women alone should have had some kind of solidarity with Donna Edwards. But politics being what it is, they decided that they wanted to stick with the quote-unquote establishment in deference to supporting one of their own. Now, as far as the Congressional Progressive Caucus is concerned, not every member that's in that particular caucus belongs there. That caucus has 60 House members, 1 Senate member, which is Bernie Sanders, and 11 leadership positions, all House members. Now, I don't think anybody can deny the fact that Bernie Sanders is a true progressive. Yet, only 3 members of the supposed progressive caucus endorsed and supported him. And in case you want to know who those 3 members are, Raul Grahilvla, he was one of the only, well, one of 2 members that actually supported Donna Edwards out of the House of Representatives. Keith Ellison was another member who actively supported him. And I'm sorry, there was a third, obviously. Donna Edwards supported Bernie Sanders. So out of what, 73 members that all claim to be progressives, only 3 of those members actually supported a true progressive, Bernie Sanders? Come on. I believe it's time to shine a light on these various caucus members to see who they really are. In the case of the Congressional Black Caucus, are they black first and members second? In the case of the Progressive Caucus, are they progressives first and politicians second? Or are all of these people just looking to be politicians first and therefore looking to feather their own nest and amass power? If this current election cycle has told us anything, it's that people are tired of the same old bullshit. The Republicans are tired of their quote-unquote conservative representatives not getting anything done. And again, I don't agree with a lot of what they claim to support. But they're elected officials, they have the majorities in the House and the Senate, yet they can't get anything done. And their constituents are, tired of the bullshit. That's why you got Mr. Trump, who claims that he's gonna make a change because he's not beholden to any of them. Now, I don't agree damn near with most of the stuff that Trump says, but some of the stuff that he does says, honestly, I have to agree with. Just a few things, not the majority of the things, and I would not be able to vote for him. But at the same time, Democrats are tired of the bullshit that the Democratic elected officials are handing out. And that obviously is evidenced by the support that Bernie Sanders received. I honestly believe that if you could put together a bunch of people that were socially progressive and fiscally conservative, and I'm not talking about the Libertarian Party because that's what they claim their claim to fame is, but I'm talking about people that are truly progressive as far as social issues are concerned, and truly conservative as far as fiscal issues are concerned, but not conservative to the point that it takes away from the social responsibilities that our government has for each citizen, I think that you would definitely have a viable party. Now, I want to place special emphasis on the Congressional Black Caucus. You guys are all full of shit. Every last one of you, with few exceptions. If you were truly for issues that are of primary importance to black people in America, you would not have jumped on board with Chris Van Hollen. And I say jumped on board because the Congressional Black Caucus PAC, which is quote unquote separate from the Congressional Black Caucus, endorsed Chris Van Hollen. You, the Congressional Black Caucus, would not have jumped on board as quickly as you did with the Clintons. And you cannot tell me that you don't know the history of the Clintons. You cannot tell me that you don't know the damage that they've done both to the black community, i.e. 1994 crime bill that they pushed. And yeah, Bernie Sanders did vote for it, but you can YouTube it if you like. Bernie Sanders did get out on the House of Representatives floor and rail against the mass incarceration portion of that bill, and he did state exactly what it was going to do to the black community. So although he did vote for it, I'm going to give him a pass, because I believe if he could have gotten that out of there, I believe he would have. And as a matter of fact, I think he sponsored an amendment to get that out of there, and it failed. But again, you have the welfare reform bill that the Clintons pushed that had a tremendous amount of damage it produced for quote unquote the black community. Now, obviously, anybody that's knowledgeable knows that there are more white people utilizing welfare benefits and anything that's related to welfare benefits. But the funny part about it was, and I saw that firsthand growing up, they had people that were designated to try to catch people that didn't adhere to the rules. Now, I did not live in a white community, so I cannot honestly say that the enforcement people were not reigning all over the poorer white neighborhoods where I grew up. But I can tell you for a fact that they were reigning all over the poorer black and Hispanic neighborhoods that I lived in when I grew up. It was that particular damage. Then overall, as far as trade agreements, Bill Clinton pushed that first major trade agreement, and his wife was in agreement with him on that. Now, that hurt all Americans, but it hurt unskilled American workers more than anyone else. So you had the Clintons to thank for that. Now, as far as Donna was concerned, the person that she ran against, Chris Van Hollen, their voting records were approximately 97% in agreement So for 3%, you guys decided to support Chris Van Hollen. And on that 3%, there are a lot of younger people today who tend to agree with Donna on a lot of that 3% where she voted in a different direction than Mr. Van Hollen. Mr. Van Hollen was a favorite of Nancy Pelosi, whereas Donna Edwards wasn't. And it's my belief that Ms. Pelosi let it be known whom she wanted to win that seat in the Senate. I also believe she made it known that she would take retribution against anybody that didn't follow her lead. When you have political power like that, it's time for a change. And yeah, I know that that happens in both political parties, but as you see now, the Republicans are bucking their establishment. I want to know why the Democrats, especially the black Democrats and the progressive Democrats, didn't buck their own. So, again, my final statement on this: is it time to form another political party, particularly a party that encompasses progressive agendas and will have the ability to get things done? A party that actually is looking out for the benefit and welfare of the people, rather than getting elected looking out for themselves with no accountability.